Welcome back to your daily basketball recap. My name is Levi Jacob. Today is, technically speaking, the second day of media day for NBA teams. This finishes the full 30-team day of media availability to start off the first step of this preseason, I should say. And I'm just going to read through a few interesting quotes and notations and differences in plays, things like that. Notably, the Knicks, Pelicans, Nets, Suns, and 76ers, I believe, are going to play games in Europe. So they actually had their media days earlier. So if you saw a bunch of press about that, that's what that whole piece was about. But we're going to dive into what was said today. I'm recording this a little bit early because it's late where I am. So in order to not, have to stay up too much later, I'm just gonna recap everything here, and any important news that comes out after that, we'll let you know tomorrow. Okay, starting with to me, the most important piece of news, which is, and the reason why I say this is because ultimately it's like the one that leads to somebody practically being available for a team to play for them, is actually the fact that yesterday we discussed Nick Smith Jr. was waived by the Charlotte Hornets. He is now getting picked up on a two-way contract by the Los Angeles Lakers. I think he's going to be good for the Lakers. I think that by the time that two-way contract ends, it's converted into a regular contract. I just feel like he was so good in college, and he has such an ability to consistently score the basketball, especially from the three-point line. I think that he was shooting 37% over the time that he's been able to actually be on the court and play. That, like, if they somehow figured out a way to move Gabe Vincent and not create too much of a damage to themselves as a team and sign him for minimum contract for the rest of the year, I think that'd be a great pickup for them. I think that they would be thrilled with it, and I think that he would also be thrilled with it. And you could just, I just feel like giving shooters to LeBron is like, it's a no-brainer. And Luka, by the way, and Luka. So I just feel like, yeah, that's a great pickup for them. I'm glad for them that they were able to go out and do that. Because he's 21 years old. Like, he's still very, very young. I think last year was his sophomore season. I don't think that the Hornets should have gotten rid of him, but who knows? They do things in mystery all the time. The next piece of news is, apparently, either the ruler is changing for the NBA, or ruler meaning measurement, or we got some young guys growing, which is pretty nuts because, in specific, the two young guys that I'm talking about are already really friggin' tall. Victor Wembenyama, coming into the NBA, was 7'3" on most measures. He confirmed in his press conference today he's measuring closer to 7'4", which is like, does he need even more height in his life? Like, for what purpose was he given, an extra inch? He's humongous. He's like, that's, it breaks my brain. And then another guy following that up, also coming over from the Western Conference from Texas, actually, Derek Lively also grew 2 inches. He's now 7'3", if he wasn't a scary enough young prospect on defense. So that's pretty good size that the Western Conference has in young developing stars. That being said, new year's, new looks for a lot of these guys, right? All these guys, Zion slimmed down, Luka slimmed down, Embiid slimmed down. Today we got to see Jalen Williams, who looks jacked. He looks absolutely jacked. I think he's going to have a great follow-up to last season. And last season, he was named to the all-defensive team, and they won an NBA championship with him as a second option. That's the best news if you're a Thunder fan, to hear that Jalen Williams is coming back, and he looks great. He looks like in more shape, and like he's been able to, bring more. He's going to be able to bring more physicality to the court. They followed up with Jokic, because it was, again, also the Nuggets media day today. And they asked him about, remember there was news at the end of last season that the Nuggets were considering trading Nikola Jokic, or some sort of management made some sort of comment about whatever ridiculousness, like they're pretending that Jokic isn't one of the most valuable players, if not the most valuable player in the league. And Jokic was like, oh, that, yeah, I don't pay attention to that. I want to be a Nugget for life, like just straight up, just coming out and saying it. Um, he was just very, very transparent about it. He like put all the if any Nuggets fans were feeling any issues, put all of it to rest. He had a great photo shoot with Nikola Vucevic. Sorry, not Nikola Vucevic. That'd be nuts. Jonas Valanciunas. Um, they look like boys. They're straight up boys, and they're having a great time. So I'm excited to see. That's the best backup that he's ever had in his career by far. Um, and not that Jokic likes to sit, obviously, but that like this team is, they're going to be a pain to play for all the other teams, especially for the Rockets, who now are going to be without Fred VanVleet. So looking forward to that. They also asked Trae Young about how he feels about not receiving a contract extension, and he was pretty disappointed about it. But I do feel like this year might be the way for him to play into his case for that contract extension. I think especially with what they're surrounding him with, I think it's going to be great, especially now that Kristaps is healthier. He also spoke on it. He said that he was, thankfully he's healthy from whatever that sickness was. Still doesn't know what it is or was, but he's feeling a lot better. And clearly, if you saw him in Eurobasket, he clearly was feeling significantly better. So looking forward to that. And I think that I think that the Hawks will give him a contract extension because this team is built it's built out so much in order to be able to accommodate for a player like Trae Young or a point guard, very much in the nature of the 3-point shooting facilitating point guard. And he has like second most assists at this rate at this point in his career in history. He's a great passer, and they've just surrounded him with more shooters and more lob threats. So I think that he's going to end up getting paid because this is a style of winning basketball that he'll be able to contribute to and still put up the numbers, and they'll still win. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think that they absolutely will pay him. Kevin Durant also said that he intends to sign a contract extension in Houston. I think that's of note because most other times that he's talked about contract extensions or where he wants to, play in his career, he hasn't really been so forthcoming with that information. So to me, it was interesting that he just said straight up, "Yeah, I want to." Note from LeBron, or I guess a quote from LeBron, is they asked him, "What keeps you, coming back? What year 23? Like what's exciting you to motivate you to be here this season?" He said, "Playing a full season with Luka, like sometimes it's just the obvious answer that's the right answer, and everyone laughed about it because yeah, obviously getting a full season of these two guys with the team better fine-tuned towards their skill set as opposed to what it was at the end of last season, like the fact that they have a center now, I think that people are going to come to appreciate Ayton much more. Even when he was signed, like, is he going to be worthy of that number 1 overall pick? Probably not, obviously, especially on the defensive end. But the truth is, like, kind of no matter what, it's better than Jackson Hayes. So if the team improved in that way, and they have, just a better supporting cast overall, which I believe that they do, in Marcus Smart, as well as now signing, in my opinion, Nick Smith Jr., I just feel like they're just going to be better. They like, there's no other option. I think also they're probably going to end up trading Dalton Connect for something. So hopefully he can get his value back up, but we'll see. Like, I do think that at the end of the day, despite them not wanting to give LeBron an extension, whatever, I think that they are going to try to make a push to get Luka a ring because Luka's entering his prime. Like, why waste years of his prime on being like, yeah, but we don't really want to pay LeBron, so I feel like they're going to try to push in some other way to get another person to come in. Because they have the contracts to be able to do that also. They have the money to be able to match. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting Lakers season. From discussing Ayton, former Suns center, to talking about one of the current Suns centers. They just had at the press conference, Kaman Malawach. He's looks like 2 times himself. Like the pictures from the rookie photo shoot, when he got drafted, he's like, athletic guy, but like kind of like lanky, like, oh, if he can put on some weight, he's humongous. He's put on enormous size. And again, I think he's also like 7'2" or something. So I think that he'll be just fine. I don't think he's gonna get pushed around too much, and I'm excited to see what he can do for the Suns team. If he can really be a factor, him and Devin Booker in a pick and roll, and his ability to run the floor, you know, or even just to back up Mark Williams, that gives them another option. They just need options on that Suns team, so it could be cool. They asked Anthony Edwards what would be his motivation, against. I don't even know if they prompted him with this, but he said that his motivation against quote unquote lower tiered teams is that he's going to try to set career highs in scoring for those games. I love it. I love that attitude. Like, he spoke earlier about his post game. His literally his game in the post. He spoke I want to say 2 days ago about it. And then you have something like this come out. Like, I just feel like he is locked in. He understands that last season was good. It was a good improvement. They need more. And I think that he will do it. I think that he's trying to figure out how, if you remember in the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, I guess it's not Michael Jordan. It's the Bulls. Sorry. My apologies, everybody. He had that thing with the Wizards player that the Wizards player made some sort of comment to him. He got offended, and Michael Jordan took it out on him, and come to find out that the guy on the Wizards literally didn't say anything to him. I feel like it's that same energy of Ant being like, you're worse than me. I know that you're worse than me. I'm gonna bury you and show everybody that you're worse than me. I'm gonna show my dominance. And I feel like it's the same kind of trying to add some sort of competitive edge in your own mind mentally in order to motivate yourself. So looking forward to it. I'd love to see some high scoring games from Ant. He's just so incredibly entertaining. He's a human highlight reel. So I'm looking forward to it. Seeing Damian Lillard in that Portland Trailblazers jersey again is come on. It doesn't get much more beautiful than that. It's like a dream come true for nostalgia fans of the NBA. A funny note from most of Bradley Beal's press conference, honestly, was just quotes that really could just age like milk. One was them asking him about why he chose the Clippers, and he started talking about how Steve Ballmer is the kind of owner who he really admires and really respects. And I was like, oh, it could be that Steve Ballmer is absolutely implicated in this case with Kawhi Leonard, and who knows, but I don't know. It could be interesting. And then the quote about him was, they asked Ty Lue on what they can expect on defense from Bradley Beal, and he was the same elite defense that he used to play. And everyone was kind of the internet took a minute to just be like, what are you talking about? So maybe he is a little bit delusional, but I don't know. Ty Lue always has some sort of, it's always scheming. He's always scheming. So I'm sure that he has something worked out. And also Kawhi was there at the media day, which was interesting to see Kawhi. Hopefully, again, only God knows as far as this, this whole case. I would like to see him compete for a championship, though. I want to see the best basketball, and I think that they showed something really interesting at the end of last season. I want to see Kawhi play. How funny it would be if they mandated, that was the punishment that Kawhi got, was that he had to play basketball. I feel like somebody said that before, but I think it's still a funny idea. Yeah, it's just it's totally hilarious that's been his fatal flaw the last few seasons. But he looked great. I mean, even before, when he sat out full portions of seasons, he didn't look not great. So it could be nothing, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the season plays out for them. Hopefully, again, he gets to play. Anthony Davis, it was announced that he will be wearing protective eyewear the rest of his career. So we're going to get those great goggles. I love when players wear those goggles. Not enough players wear those goggles. I know that not everybody obviously needs corrective vision eyewear. Players, a lot of them use contacts and stuff like that. But it always just brings me back to that when Wendell Carter Jr. was playing against LeBron. When Wendell Carter Jr. was playing against LeBron, and his glasses, the glasses themselves actually popped out of the frames, and LeBron put them on. And he made this great face. It was hilarious.
Goggles are something that could create some blood there, as you see the ball being thrown in and hits him right in the face, breaks the goggles. Yeah, it was LeBron picked up the lens.
But yeah, Anthony Davis is going to have to play with glasses. I wonder if I'm sure that's going to be an adjustment, obviously. But he over the course of his offseason had to go through, like he had to get surgery on a detached retina. So his doctor said, like, you just don't want it to happen again, you know? And then the last note was there was like a weird back and forth between Giannis and the owner of the Bucks. He mentioned that he had a conversation with Giannis and that they're really aligned in what they want, and that they really appreciate him, whatever. And Giannis is like, I don't remember having that conversation, which is a hilarious Giannis thing to do. I don't think it's any bad blood. I just think that like it's just like a very like honest, straightforward Giannis thing to say. But it made the media like be like, oh, does this mean something? I don't think it means something. He spoke to the media, Giannis, and said like he loves Milwaukee and he wants to be there for his whole career, but he also knows that there's a likelihood that the team is going to trade him, and ultimately he wants to be on a team that gives him a chance to win a title. And he literally every single year gives everything that he has. He's like the almost, I would say Russell Westbrook is the other one, but almost the one player on the court who he doesn't take plays off. Like he really gives it his all on the basketball court. And you know, that's a hard journey for the Bucks to get on right now, unfortunately. And they likely won't be for some time. So there's definitely a chance that they trade him. Just waiting for, the best offers to come in, obviously. So ultimately we'll see what happens, but that was all of the highlights so far from this media day on Monday, September 29th. That was your daily basketball recap. My name is Levi Jacob. I want to thank Shlomo for being the best co-host. I want to thank Max for producing all of our lovely content. And I want to thank all of you for listening and watching and subscribing, commenting, liking, all the good stuff. Please let me know anything that you felt was noteworthy. If you agree with me on things, if you didn't agree with me on things, anything that I'm missing, all of it, all the good stuff, please leave down there in the comments. And I wish you a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.